It's time for the Matt Anderson Show. Committed to encouraging, uplifting, and inspiring a generation.
My message to you is to find, take back, and keep your righteous mind.
You work for a company, Radio One, Urban One. Kathy Hughes started with next to nothing, one little radio station on 8th Street in Northeast DC. Now, years later, $1 billion company, and is doing all kinds of media and television and web media deliverables. Tell me about the importance of Black women, and specifically Black women's voices and Black women being at the table when it comes to media and the images that shape how we think about our daughters, our wives, our sisters, our mothers. Why is it important?
It's very important because entertainment is a man's world, as is a lot of corporate America, but it's a man's world. So we have to be, just as an African-American man has to be double smart and act, be double fast or be a step ahead of everything. Women have to be that much more in heels. We have to be that much more because people don't, they feel like we're emotional. And so that we can't make rational decisions because, we're naturally emotional beings. So this is why you see a lot of women in our business that are, a capital B. I don't want to be that woman, but I do want to prove that I know what I'm doing. I do want to prove that I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I do want to prove excellence. So I think women have to be 3 steps ahead in order to succeed. Our company, owned by African-American female, knows this well. However, the first ever female VP happened last year in our company. So that's crazy, right? Because Ms. Hughes owns the company, but the first African-American female VP over the formats of our company in programming is Kashawn Powell, who's our VP of Programming, Operations Manager in DC. That happened last year because in management in the top upper tier of most radio stations, of all radio stations, there are no females. Now, sales is a whole different thing because you might find a female sales director, a female, working on that end, but on the programming end, it's never that. And so we have to work extra hard to prove that we know what we're doing because if we're passionate, then we're emotional, right? If we seem like we're very passionate about things, they see as, women. And then you have the whole motherly thing. Oh, you're not, forward enough because you're motherly or you're nurturing kind of situation. So for me, I need to make sure that my skill set is at 100 at all times because I need to prove to them, to people, I need to prove to the company, I need to prove to listeners, I need to prove to everybody that I'm just as excellent. When it comes to females on air, you only usually see us in the midday. You only see us in the midday. And that's strategically done. When I came to Radio One, I started in the afternoon and consistently was number 1 in the afternoon. Number 1 consistently over all of the urbans. At the time, it was Michael Baisden, it was Easy Street on KISS, and it was, who was on Magic? Mike Chase on Magic. So you had HUR, and then it was John Mons on Magic. So with all 3 of those powerhouse men in the afternoon, my little FM afternoon show was number 1 in the market consistently. And they, the company strategically moved me to middays because they couldn't monetize the number 1 slot. So it was told to me that KISS had to be number 1, Magic had to be 2, and Praise had to be 3. Now, as a female, you don't see a lot of females in the afternoon, but here I am on the inspiration station, number 1 in the market, because when you left, the company, the market was hungry for inspiration. They were hungry for inspiration on the FM band. So when you left, numbers were great. The numbers were never an issue for the format that you programmed. So when I came in afternoon after you, I just picked up that mantle and kept going. And so they couldn't understand how this female in the afternoon was number 1. And now the sales team can't even sell that because they don't know how to monetize the format.
So I'm hearing all of this now. I'm hearing business. I'm hearing not only the gender challenge. You know, I think we've gotten past race in a lot of different ways. It's not so much about color as it is green. But how do you balance ministry with, of course, being entertainment minded, but also being, you know, ministry minded? How do you balance all of those elements? And what are the steps that other sisters who are in media or other forms of business, how can you be ministry minded, business minded, but still be entertaining? How do you do that?
You know, because relationship with God is who I am. It's my DNA. So it goes with me everywhere. So I can be ministry minded. And in other words, in layman terms, I'll say to them, I have to be integral, right? So in the way, in me using biblical principles in my life, it is who I am. Like, I can't respond to other people the way other people do. I can't react the way other people react. I have to do it the way God says do it. And sometimes it makes me look a little crazy, but I have to walk in integrity. So it's more important to me that I please the Father than it is for me to get my point across. So I have to use excellence in everything I do, but I have to do it in a biblical way. You understand what I'm saying? So
Sure.
I can't cheat my way to the top, can't curse nobody out in the midst of it. I have to still be encouraging, and I have to be able to disagree correctly. So I can't be afraid. It teaches me, because I'm a fighter by nature. You know that. I grew up in Northwest.
Trust and believe. Trust and believe. You don't want that smoke. I'm trying to tell you, you don't want that smoke.
You don't want me without the Holy Ghost. I promise you, you know. And so it really, I think that's what we have in common. But it's more, and I had to grow into this. But it's more important for me to please the Father. So I have to learn how to disagree correctly. I have to be stern enough to get my point across and mean it. And I can do that without cursing you out now.
You know, but you know what's interesting? You know what? One of the things that God has helped me see is how to establish the four corners of my character. And when I say that, I mean, in order for me to know what I will do, I had to learn what I won't do. And it took me a long time to learn this, and I'm still kind of learning how to operate in it, but I understand it. And for me to know what I will do, I have to first off know what I won't do. So first off, I'm not going to sell out my God. That's just non-negotiable. I'm not going to sell out my women, meaning African-American women. That means my mother, my wife, my daughter, my sisters. I can't do that. That means you won't see me promoting in any way, shape, or form things that are going to be disrespectful, degrading. I just can't, because that's my mother, that's my sister, that's my wife. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sell out my manhood. I'm clearly a man. I'm comfortable in my manhood. I know who I am. I don't hate anybody else who lives any other kind of way. I love everybody, but I'm clear on who I am in that regard, and that's non-negotiable. And then finally, I'm not going to sell out my race. I'm not going to sell out African Americans or people of African descent here in America or around the country. And you're not going to see me making buffoons out of folks to make a couple of dollars. So once I know who I am, then I know what I won't be. So let me ask you this about how you navigate today's unique environment. Nobody could have seen this COVID-19 thing coming. And you're in a unique place now where you can literally speak to the nations, but you still have to be a wife, a mom, a business leader, a media leader, a part of a team in ministry and in media. So how do you navigate this current COVID environment?
So I think our format is unique in that we're an inspiration format. So I think that we have to come from that angle. Like, we have to be able to report the facts and what they are. But I think that we also have to be able to look for the silver lining, if you will, not conjure it up, but talk about the facts. So in my feature, What's the Tea? I'm going to give you straight facts. I'm going to tell you, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. This is what the news is saying. And then, my What's the Tea, I always promote it as if, with my twist. So I might do something funny to get my point across. Like, for instance, today we talked about pastors who are defying the stay-at-home order. Right. And so there are some pastors who have, literally said, I'm still going to have church. There's a church in Baltimore who had church on Sunday, 2 services, trying to do 50% of his capacity. Thankfully enough, the parishioners were smart enough not to come out. But he did open his doors to have church. And so I laughed and said, wonder what the scripture says about obeying those who have rule over you.
Oh.
And then I kind of moved on. So I'll say what I have to say, but I'm going to give you the facts, but I'll say what I have to say to kind of give it a twist, right? And so, and then on my inspirational spotlight, I do this thing called, where I do inspirational reading and word. Then I can really use that feature to be more preachy, if you will, more inspirational. And I want to give the songs that we're playing opportunity to really have power by saying, we're singing Open Door Season. So in the midst of COVID-19, we still have this open door. He knew that my mom kind of like became priority and he was fine with that. So, but I became this workhorse, right? Where I was eternalizing that. So I didn't have enough to put out. I was just going through the motions. So before I went to Fiji, I knew that I was literally going, God made it clear that I was literally going to replenish, right? And so before the whole stay-at-home order took place, I'm literally 7 days in Fiji with 10 other major women, powerful women, most of them doctors. I actually went with Dr. Jerry Dyson. It was a trip that she had created for her birthday. And it became a spiritual journey. I said, so if y'all going to drink and hang out, that's fine. Y'all know I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to do that because I need to find this time. God allowed me to replenish. So when I came home and I had to quarantine for 2 weeks because I went out of the country, it was perfect. It was perfect. So this mindset that I have now in COVID-19 is so here. I'm appreciating being home. I like doing the show from the house. I'm able to create, I'm journaling again, I'm writing again, I'm reading again. And, I am concerned about my mom, but the way that the Lord has it set up is I can't be there. Like, you can't be there. Like, you got to trust God to cover her because you can't be there. And I can't let that consume me or paralyze me. And so I'm using that as fuel to help others that's getting through it. People all around us are passing away. You don't have to tell me to stay home. I'm staying home. When you open up, I'm going to be here for another month before y'all,
No, that's right.
Listen.
Hello.
I'm not pressed because, and I'm one of those people that's blessed to have, yard space. I have a little land so I can go out on my own property and be outside or walk, the little park that's next door in my neighborhood and go to the store back and forth, wear my little mask, come on back home and I'm good. I needed this space. So where others are like, hey, feel for those who are single and they don't have family members. As you can see folk walking in my background, we got I got a whole family. I got a whole family here. Got the dog, I got a dog, I got kids, I got grandkids, I got, so I'm really not missing a beat. And I have to thank God for that because I think he set that up. Everything I think is on purpose with regards to our life. And so I'm empowered during this time. I really am. I'm empowered.
One thing that really, I every now and then I got to kind of remind myself when I get to fussing and frustrated about being locked in and shut down. I said, wait a minute. First off, family's healthy. My whole family's healthy. I'm able to take a walk around my neighborhood. My legs work. My mind works. I got food in my refrigerator. The electricity is on. I said, wait a minute. I ain't got, Lord, forgive me. So Cheryl, what's next for you? I mean, what in a perfect world, what do you want to do or do you see yourself doing, whether it be in media or ministry, family, what's next? Where are you going?
So I have this dilemma in the fact that I know management, like I know how to program and I know how to be the talent. And so, I've all throughout my career, people would ask, what do you want? Would you rather program or would you rather do talent? I would rather do both, to be very honest. I would love to do both. I would love to program a network and complete the assignment that God had given us with regards to this inspiration format and to really do it correctly. So I'd like the opportunity to program a network. If it's not this one, I'd like to program a network. Even if it's digital, if it's Spotify, if it's, the next age of where we're going. And I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of the creativity of it. I'd love to do television. That always is my passion as well. And not the production side like you, but I'd like to be in front of the camera. So what's next for me is trying to create those dynamics, to continue that and to know, of course it's in God's timing, but I do know that God has set me up to be a millionaire, and I believe these latter days are going to be preparing me and walking me in that direction. So during this time of being home, instead of complaining and sitting and twiddling my thumbs, I'm writing out plans. I'm writing out goals. One of the things, my girl circle, my friend circle, Dr. Jerry is a part of that. And of course, Ursula and all these powerful women that I surround myself with. We've challenged ourselves. Steve Harvey did this thing on his show with his audience about two things that he holds on to biblically, and one is write the vision and make it plain, of course, and the other is we have not because we ask not. So he challenged himself to write, or I think Bishop Jakes challenged him to write 300 things that he'd like to see the Father do, or that he'd like the Lord to do. That's not an easy task, because after you get to like 20, you like, okay, what else do I want him to do? But then you start listing things that you want him to do for other people, things you'd like to see him do for your family, and things that you like. So I'm on that journey of writing out these things that you asked me, what I want, because when people ask you, you don't always know. Before now, I probably wouldn't have been able to put my finger on it. I know what it looks like I'm working towards, but what is it that I exactly want? And those are the things that I kind of came to grips about, is that I want to be able to do both. I want to be the talent, and I want to be able to manage it. I want to be able to create it. And so those are the things that I'm asking him for, and that's the direction that I'm going in. They've given me opportunity, and I'm grateful, because I do know that there are people who are unemployed. I do know that people a lot of people don't know where their next meal is coming from. But during this pandemic, the company has asked us to take a 10% cut, but in the midst of it, I was able to take on another market, which gave me more endorsements, which mean I didn't miss a beat, and I've been able to add, bigger opportunities. I want to take this platform, create it, build it, and be successful in it to the point where they have to take notice, right? I don't want, which is why I'm not leaving it up to a producer. I'm going to do it myself. Everybody else is sending their tracks to producers to add to it. I said, no, I'm good. I'll go to the station after hours. And I've been going, 7, 8 o'clock at night when I know nobody's there, knocking this thing out and creating and producing so that I can be recognized for what we're doing as a female in this business. You know what I mean? So I'm being wise and being smart and writing the vision, making it plain, writing out plans, and creating and developing in this latter part. I want to be able to do this as long as I can do it. I'm not, looking to retire at 64 or anything like that. I want to do it as long as I can do it.
Hey, 64 is the new 35 for me.
55.
Hello. 35.
We're about the same age, so yeah.
No,
we
I
look
ain't
good too, bro.
holding on. So if you need this sister for consulting or the host or the voiceover, any of the above or anything else, I'm sure this sister's going to a whole nother level, no doubt about it. And let me ask you this. So stations, you said a couple other stations that you're on now, not just Praise 104 here in the DC market, but what are the other stations, what other markets and what other stations?
We have, they've added Houston, Atlanta. This is a Sunday syndicated show.
Awesome.
Houston, Atlanta, Columbus, Indianapolis. It's another Ohio city. I can't think of it.
Yeah,
right
look
now,
at you just counting the blessings, done lost the room that you won't have to receive.
I was surprised Atlanta asked for us in Houston. They sold the Houston station, but they have a HD translator like they have in Baltimore. Oh, and then of course I'm Monday through Friday in DC and Baltimore, Monday through Saturday in DC.
Well, I really appreciate you, sister. It's always wonderful to talk to you. It's wonderful to listen to you. It always makes me smile, makes my day when I talk to you, makes my day when I listen to you. And y'all make sure y'all check out CHERYL Jackson Radio on all of them their platforms, all right? Love you, sis. Bless you.
I love you too. Thank you, Matt.